If you recently married a US citizen or you're going to marry a US citizen, then first of all, congratulations. Second of all, I'm sure you're very anxious, excited, maybe a little scared about the upcoming immigration process so that you can become a permanent resident. Let me tell you that there are 3 steps that you need to take. The first one is create a personalized plan for your family to go through this process. The second one is correctly submit all the USCIS documents and supporting evidence to make your case as strong as possible. And number 3, rest assured that your case is going to be handled by me and my team and that it's backed by our money back guarantee. If you're new here, my name is Darian. I'm an attorney focused entirely on family-based immigration law, and marriage-based green card cases are my bread and butter. They're what I do day in and day out, and they're what I love the most about immigration law. Today we're going to be talking about the consultation process, the family-based immigration filing process, and what you should expect along the way. The first step in the immigration process is the most important. It's your initial consultation with me, your immigration attorney. During this process, we're going to create a plan that we're going to implement throughout your entire case. During this consultation, I want to know everything that there is to know about your marriage. I want to know, how did you guys first meet? Was it on an online dating app? Was it at a party? Was it at a bar? Whatever. When did you guys first move in together? When did you meet each other's families? When did you go on your first trip? So on and so forth. During this, I'm going to be taking extensive notes, and the purpose of my notes and my questions is so that I can create a detailed list of evidence that we can submit in support of your good faith marriage green card petition. What we need to do is demonstrate that your marriage was entered into in good faith and it wasn't submitted just so that you can get a green card. You didn't just marry and pay a US citizen several $1,000s to help you get a green card. And the way that we can differentiate your case and make the process smoother and faster than other cases is by submitting unique evidence that's specific to your marriage. During this initial consultation, we're going to create a very detailed plan. And afterwards, you'll have 30 days to hire me and my team to implement that plan. If you do hire us, the consultation fee will be credited towards the legal fee for your case, and then we will immediately get started working on your case. The next stage is we're going to send each spouse a detailed questionnaire. I need to know all sorts of things about your lives. I need to know what your address history has been for the past 5 years. I need to know where you've worked. I need to know if you've been married before, if you have any children or stepchildren or adopted children. I need to know about your families. I need to know a whole lot of things. I need to know if the US citizen spouse meets the minimum income requirements, if we're going to need a joint financial sponsor for the affidavit of support portion of the case. After we finish the questionnaires, I'm going to begin preparing all the immigration forms. We're going to also create a list of documents that you need to upload to your case portal that we're going to get started for you, or that you're going to email directly to me and my team if that's easier for you. If you're local, you can also mail or bring the documents to my office. This is going to include all sorts of things. All the evidence that we created a list of. We're going to need your marriage certificate, any prior divorce certificates. We're going to need the US citizen's most recent tax returns. We're going to need birth certificates. We're going to need copies of passports, so on and so forth. After we collect all of your documents and evidence, my team and I are going to do 3 rounds of review to make sure everything is absolutely perfect. And then I'm going to sign off on everything as the preparer and the attorney representing you in the case, and I'm going to mail everything off to USCIS. At that point, the USCIS office is going to divvy up the different forms we've submitted and begin processing them. The first thing they're going to really look at is the affidavit of support form. They want to make sure that the US citizen sponsor meets the financial minimum requirements to sponsor an immigrant spouse, or that a joint financial sponsor meets those requirements if the US citizen spouse doesn't earn enough income or is out of work or something like that. After the affidavit of support form has been analyzed and seems to meet the minimum requirements, USCIS should begin to process the immigrant spouse's employment authorization card and social security card. This process typically takes about 90 days from when we've submitted the application to when we receive the employment authorization card. Sometimes there are processing delays with USCIS that are outside of everyone's controls. Sometimes it's much faster than 90 days. The processing times are pretty much out of your control once we file it, as long as everything has been filed properly. Around this time, the immigrant spouse will also receive a biometrics appointment notice. This is a fingerprinting appointment notice. It takes about 10 minutes. The immigrant spouse shows up at an application support center. They take his or her photo, they take their fingerprints, and they send them off on their way. This is so that USCIS can first of all use that photograph when they're processing the work permit card and the eventual green card, which is the permanent residence card, and also so that they can begin to run a criminal background check on those fingerprints to make sure that the immigrant spouse does not have any criminal history which disqualifies them from immigration benefits. After we receive the employment authorization card, there's usually a pretty long lull in the case where we don't hear anything from USCIS. This is because it's processing through the timeline and the processing queue, and eventually it's going to make its way to the local office. For example, if you live in New York City, it's going to eventually get sent to the local USCIS office located at 26 Federal Plaza in downtown Manhattan. Once it gets there, an immigration officer will review your file and will either schedule an interview to speak with the spouses, at which point we will prepare in detail so that you're very prepared for this interview, or they will request additional evidence so that they can make a decision on your case, or if they have enough evidence, they will mail out an approval notice. This is the ideal situation, and that's what we strive for when we prepare your case. If we get an approval notice right away, about 2 weeks later, your physical green card arrives in the mail, and then we will do a final closing meeting to talk about next steps, which can include removing the conditions on your conditional green card and applying for citizenship down the road. That's a successful case ending. But if we have to prepare for an interview, at that point, we're going to be doing a lot more work, and it's all included in the flat fee that we quoted. You will never see any additional fee in your case. Either way, whether they send out a request for evidence and we need to send more evidence, whether they send out an approval notice, or whether we need to prepare for the last long stretch, which is the interview. After your case gets approved, you should receive your green card about 2 weeks later, and we'll do our final closing at that point. We feel so strongly about our ability to help you with your immigration case that we offer a money-back guarantee. That means that if your case qualifies for permanent residence and for any reason your case gets denied, which I doubt will happen, but it's possible, then we will refund your entire attorney fee that you paid directly to my office. We offer this because we're confident in our ability to help you and because we've streamlined the process to help so many people get through this immigration case. The reason we can offer this guarantee is because we've streamlined this process and we're just so confident in our ability to help you win your case. All right, guys, I know this was a bit salesy, but I get a lot of questions specifically about what I can do for people when they hire us through the immigration process. So I just wanted to make a video addressing that. If you're new to my channel, most of my videos are actually about how to do things throughout the family-based immigration process or naturalization process or removing conditions on residency. I try to put out as much information out there as possible to help you do it by yourself if you choose to do that. So if you're new to my channel, check out my videos. I put them out each week, and I'll see you guys next week for another one.